In this video, we'll be focusing on concentration and how it is used in chemistry, particularly by solving sample problems. So this will be helpful as an introductory part of chemistry and particularly analytical chemistry. So the goal of this video is to understand what we mean by concentration and to solve basic concentration problems. Okay, so concentration, the amount of substance or solute present in a given amount of substance or solvent. So two components um, is shown here. So we have a solute, we have a solvent. So these can define a solution, which will then have different concentration. So what is concentration? So it is basically a measure, or it refers to the amount of solute in a particular amount of solvent. So solute present in the solvent. So for instance, in this example, we have a, let's say, a water sample. So in this example, the solvent is the water. Let's say this is 100 ml. So this is the amount of our solvent. And let's say these different shapes are our solute. Okay. So the number of solute particles or the number of these different shapes helps us visualize how concentrated the solution is. And we can see that different solute has different numbers, right? So this means that this different solute has different um, concentration value in this particular solution. So let's say this solute is named solute A, solute B, solute C. So for example, let's count the amount of particle A. So for instance, particle A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 particles. This is just an example, okay? 12 particles of A per 100 ml of water. So this is the concentration of solute A. Okay. Then for solute B, we can also count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there are 15 particles, particle B per 100 ml H2O water. Then for solute C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So there are 17 particle C per 100 ml of water. So this is basically an info we get when measuring water. So water samples. This is just an example, okay? So how do we um let's say conclude something out of this um result? So we can say particle C is more abundant. So this is like the most existing solute in the sample. So we can say it is more concentrated with particle C. So let's say that the standards say um the the safe drinking water has 5 particles per C 100 ml H2O. And greater than this value is said to be greater than this is toxic. You can say that. Um, we can compare what we measure from the standards. And from this, we can conclude that the water sample we have has higher concentration of solute C, okay, or particle C. Therefore, it is exceeded from the standard of safe drinking water. So it can be considered this water can be considered toxic because of high concentration of particle C. So this is non-drinkable. So we can measure concentration that way and then compare it to standards and then therefore make a conclusion. So this is just one of an example how important it is to measure concentration. Okay. So here is a confusing part. So there are actually two components, right, for a solving concentration. And particularly, we want to solve the amount of solute and the amount of solvent. But how do we really know which is which, right? So the solvent actually is the one that does the dissolving. Okay? The one that does dissolving, sorry, while the solute is the substance that is being dissolved. Okay? Why is that? So, in chemistry, the way to distinguish which is the solute, which is the solvent, we usually look at which component is present is present in the large amount. So we're particularly looking which has larger amount. Okay, based on these two, solvent is water, right? And from the area, okay, they have occupied. We can say that this the water acts as a solvent because it has a larger amount. Okay, but why is that the case? Okay, so when you say dissolve, particles dissolve because it disperse. Okay, because it disperse, and disperse is basically a word like synonymous to spreading out. Okay, this is like spreading. So let's take for example we have some solute here in the water. Okay, this is not dissolved yet, so this is solid. Let's say this is solid, and then as we place it in the water, okay, then we stir it in the water, it will scatter. Okay, it will disperse because the water acts as a solvent because of its larger amount. It acts as a medium for dispersion or a medium for scattering of this solute, therefore dissolving the solute particles. That's why the solvent tends to be the one which with having the larger amount. Okay, that's then doing the dissolving for dissolving the solute. Okay, so here is the thing we must remember: solvent, major component. Okay, major component of the solution, while solute is the minor component. Okay, next. So we know about the solute, we know about the solvent. Um, these two makes a component we call solution. So the amount or the volume, you must remember this. Volume of the solution is not equal, okay, to volume of solvent. A lot of students actually um makes this equal. I don't know why. So solution, to picture this out. Solution, okay, is actually a combination. of the two components. Okay, solution is equals solvent plus solute. Okay, now how do we know the volume of the solution? Well, we just add the amount of solvent, the amount of solute. Okay, it's not the amount of solvent. Okay, then to calculate concentration, what do we need to know? So that was actually all of the fundamental about concentration. So this is just a preparatory for calculating now. Okay, to calculate, first, these are major things to know before concentration calculation. Okay. First is you must know the amount of solute. So the amount of solute can be in mass. So it can be grams, um, milligrams, I don't know, any just mass. Then it can be in moles. Okay. So we can use the periodic table. Then it can also be given as volumes. It can be liter, ml. Okay. Then the next thing we should know is the amount of solvent. So the amount of solvent can be um, reported by mass, but most commonly it's just volume. Okay, can be liters or ml, and sometimes it is not the amount of solvent given, but the amount of solution. And this can be tricky because some students will think that amount of solution and amount of solvent are the same. Okay, so we have some sample problems later. Okay, so these are the actually the things you must ask when you are solving concentration. So whenever we calculate concentration, we ask how much or what is the given amount of solute, what is the given amount of solvent, and or the amount of solution. So when you get this info, you are good to go. Okay, you can solve the concentration of the solution.